How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. So the FOMC meeting was today. The Federal Reserve held the interest rate where it was. They said there will likely be another rate hike this year. It was talked about around November, most likely. The central bank also forecast fewer rate cuts next year than previously expected. So this is a signal that inflation rates are going to be a little higher than anticipated for a little bit longer than anticipated to help bring the economy down to more of a simmer. Scammers pose as a bankruptcy firm to drain Celsius users' wallets. Customers that went to apply for any clawbacks from the Celsius bankruptcy are now being targeted by phishing emails claiming to be from Soretto Corporate Restructuring. That includes a link to a Shiles-hosted phishing website, claims-soretto.com. So avoid that site. Don't click on any links, because if you connect your wallet, it will attempt to drain all of your assets and NFTs, disguising this transaction as a deposit. Stanford University to return over $5.5 million in gifts from FTX. The school was offered gifts from the collapsed crypto exchange via FTX Foundation and FTX-related companies, largely for pandemic-related prevention and research, a spokesman for the institution told Fortune. They added that the university has been in discussions with the attorneys for the FTX debtors to recover these gifts, and they will be returning the funds in their entirety. The announcement follows the lawsuit that we talked about yesterday. So onto the charts. We are getting a slight rejection today, so if we follow with a red candle tomorrow, that would be a confirmation of a rejection. We could break this Fibonacci zone right here, and that could set us for lower price action. So watch out for that. Our stochastic does want to make a bullish cross, but our RSI is starting to head down. They're kind of in disagreement. The momentum is coming up, but with the VWAP coming down, the momentum is likely to start losing strength. Our money flow is trying to push up, but if we get continued candles down, we're likely going to see a curl over and lower price action. This was a bit of an up channel with that reversal arrow, so that was a bit of a signal. We were approaching some supports and resistances, so those were all kind of pointing to a possible rejection. You are going to want to watch for the confirmation though. If we get a green candle tomorrow, it would be likely we could see continued price action up. Bitcoin dominance is pushing to this 50.27 area, right where we have that gap right back there. So if we do manage to continue forward, that would be good for Bitcoin dominance. That would suggest our altcoins would probably sell off and our stablecoins could sell off. But if we see this start to roll over here, then that could suggest the other, that the altcoins could start to ramp up or our stablecoins could start to get inflow. Our stochastic still getting lower highs, starting to curl over. Our RSI is trying to head up, but it's meeting some resistance at the 65 zone. So if we can't get a new high and we start to push over here, that could end up with a bit of a divergence. Our momentum is trying to push up, but it's not really going very strong. Our money flow and our VWAP are in the bullish territory, but they're not too strong. They are bullish though, so we could still continue up. We could get some surprise volatile move up tomorrow, because that's what crypto does sometimes. Over on our Bitcoin futures, we are starting to get a little bit of a rejection. We could get a reversal arrow, so stay tuned tomorrow. We'll cover if that closes. Our stochastic is starting to round off. Our RSI is in jeopardy of losing some strength. That VWAP is coming down. The momentum's starting to roll away. And the money flow is still in a bearish trend. So if we close this red candle tomorrow, that could set us up for a confirmation of a rejection. That reversal arrow, if that follows another red candle, could help push us even lower. So we may get some sort of like a small double top here that could pull us lower after we filled that gap. Over on Bitcoin, we are trying to push to the bottom of our golden pocket zone here. So we do want to kind of test that support. If we break this golden pocket tomorrow with another red candle, then it would be likely we would not get a manipulation move any higher, and we would not retest this major support resistance area. Our stochastic's about as maxed out as it wants to go. Our RSI is starting to head down though. VWAP's continuing down. The momentum is in jeopardy of weakening if the VWAP continues down. And our money flow looks like it could start to curl away, so I would keep an eye on these lower time frames. Real quick, if you haven't already, smash that like, hit the subscribe, and join us in the Discord. We're going to be working on our model tomorrow, so I'm hoping to finish that up, release the model into the Discord, show everyone what's going to go on, and talk about it, and there'll be some positive things. Over on the 4 hour, we are bouncing off our golden pocket support, so that is good for us. We're coming back into it. That could help us get continued price action up. We did have like a ascending triangle possibility. Not sure if that played out. That was on the hourly, so we'll get to that. Our RSI overall is weakening. Our momentum has a bearish divergence and is weakening. Our stochastic wants to get a bullish cross, but it's not looking very strong right now. Our VWAP still in the bearish territory, continuing a bearish trend, and our money flow can't seem to get above this 9.9, so if it doesn't continue above this zone, we're likely going to reject away and curl down from here. Over on the 2 hour, we're getting a few manipulation X's that want to bring us down, so I would tread lightly. RSI is starting to inch out. Our momentum has bearish divergences. Stochastic has bearish divergences. Our stochastic starting to weaken. It does want to make a bullish cross, but it's still rounding over, so that could end up just falling flat. Our VWAP is trying to break that bullish territory, but our money flow is coming down, so if the VWAP touches bullish, gets rejected, and brings the money flow under with it, we're likely going to get a downtrend from that. Over on the 1 hour, you can see we're starting with some red candles, so we're in jeopardy of kind of rolling over here. Our stochastic's starting to head down, RSI is starting to head down, the money flow is starting to come out pretty sharply. That VWAP's pushing into the bearish territory, bringing our momentum down with the red dot, so it could invalidate this bullish divergence. So overall, the 1 hour is not looking too strong. If we continue with some red candles, we're likely going to set up a bearish leg down. Over on graph for the daily, we are still trying to push our pattern, but we are getting a reversal arrow, so this reversal arrow could signal that we could drop back into our pattern, and this could be a scam breakout like I warned. Our stochastic's getting a little bit of a divergence. We are getting a bullish cross that wants to push us up, but it's not really taking us anywhere. Our RSI is going pretty flat. Our RSI has a red dot that could end up bringing us down. Our VWAP's struggling to get past the 17 zone, but that is keeping us with some bullish momentum. If it kind of rolls away from here, that's likely going to bring our momentum down. And then I would watch out for a break to the bearish side, as that would start or continue a bearish trend. Our money flow can't get through this neutral, so we're still somewhat bearish here, even though we're seeing these green candles. So if the money flow doesn't break through to the bullish side tomorrow, we could see it start to round away and break to the bearish side and start to give up these gains. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic is coming down. It does want to make a bullish cross and bring us up. Our RSI is trying to push forward, but they both look a little iffy. We're slightly inching out on them, making bearish divergences. The momentum is doing the same. It does have a green dot though, as our VWAP has broken into the bullish territory and does want to bring us higher. Just watch out if it rolls over, as that would start a bearish trend or confirm a bearish trend, as we're getting lower highs and lower lows on our VWAP currently. Our money flow is in the bullish territory, but if the lower time frames slip into the bearish territory and hold, that could weaken here. So I would keep an eye on that. We have been rejected back here, and that did start a rather sharp downtrend. Over on the 2 hour, we do have bearish divergences on our stochastic and momentum still. Our VWAP is starting to roll away. Our money flow is starting to come down. Our RSI is starting to point down. And we have a red dot that's signaling we could see further downside. The stochastic did make a bounce to make a further push forward, but it's starting to round off again, and it's likely to push lower and could confirm that divergence that we're seeing. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic wants to start to round from here. Our RSI is starting to get weak and starting to point down. Our money flow is overall trending out. The momentum's starting to round away as our VWAP's about to break through that neutral, so watch real close here. If the next few candles are red and we break through the neutral with this VWAP, the money flow is likely going to start to inch away. It could break this support zone around this 20, and we could see further downside. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are bouncing off our support, so we want to make a continual move up. We are in our pattern right now. We're kind of getting stopped right around this higher volume node though, so watch out. Our stochastic wants to push forward, our RSI is trying to come up, but our VWAP's getting lower highs, so that could start a bearish trend. Our momentum is pushing forward, but is in jeopardy of starting to round away if our VWAP weakens here. The money flow wants to flip to the bullish side, so if that can become bullish and the VWAP continues to go up, then we will see continual price action up. But if the money flow flips into the bullish territory and the VWAP starting to curl, we could see a rejection. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we may have some sort of double top, but we have a double bottom that brought us up. So that double bottom may have made a double top. If you kind of just like, don't count this top, kind of just count this as a drop and then a bounce. Our stochastic is starting to head down. Our RSI is trying to head up. Our momentum's starting to round away. Our VWAP's overall in a bearish trend and wants to break through that neutral. And our momentum's starting to roll away because of it. If the VWAP flips into the bearish territory and our money flow continues to round away and rejects away from this 12 zone where it has several times, then we could get a leg down. However, if we manage to get a VWAP to bounce and the money flow to break through here, we will see continual price action up to try to test our resistance up here. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic's getting a little bit of a bearish divergence. I would watch out for that. We have a double red dot on our momentum. Our momentum is coming down. We have a green dot though as our VWAP's trying to flip back to the bullish territory. So if it just gets a weak flip here and then ends up rejecting, that would confirm a bearish trend and could break us lower. So I would keep an eye on that. Our money flow is going pretty decent in the bullish territory. But if it breaks the 7 zone, we could be in for a downspill. So I would watch that zone for the money flow. That's on the 2 hour. Over on the 1 hour, our momentum overall is inching out. Stochastics overall inching out. Our money flow is maintaining decent bullish momentum. And our VWAP staying in the bullish territory as well. But that's creating a pretty straight up channel that could end up breaking us down. And that could give us that double top. We do have those gaps to the downside to fill yet, so keep that in mind as well, as we have filled our gaps to the upside at this point, so we really don't have many more gaps to go. At least in the bull's favor. Over on XRP for the daily, we are pushing into our pattern and confirming a push above our point of control. So that is good for us. Our next move is going to be if we can break through right where we are and then get to our kind of higher volume area where we had multiple rejections in the past. We've had a couple back here. That's the top of our pattern. So this would be our next stop at that 54 cent, 53 cent zone if we're able to break this 51, 52 cent area. Our stochastic is trying to push forward. Our RSI wants to go up, our VWAP's trying to push forward, our momentum is in the bullish territory, our money flow is trying to push forward, so we do look a little better than other coins for continued price action up here. So that is a little odd. Maybe that's a signal that we could get some positive news down the pipelines. Our stochastic is starting to push down, momentum's starting to come out with a bearish divergence, so that could put that daily hopium in jeopardy. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it doesn't look too strong right now, so if it just rejects over, we could confirm a bearish trend and see lower price action. Stochastic is pushing down pretty hard, but it does want to make a little bit of a bounce. So if it can bounce here, that would be positive for us, but we're going to need it to bounce with strength. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a potential to make a double top. Watch out for that. Our RSI is overall inching out. Momentum's starting to inch away. Our stochastic does want to make a bearish cross and come out. Our money flow is rounding away. And our VWAP is struggling to get past this 9 zone. So if we get a rejection here, we could see lower price action, the VWAP fall bearish, and that could drag the money flow with it. Sorry, I'm sweating a lot. I have this 3D printer going and it's pretty warm. Stochastic is pushing forward. RSI wants to come out. Our momentum is trying to get higher highs, so our momentum's looking pretty decent on the 1 hour. But our VWAP and money flow are really close to our neutral and want to break bearish. If they break bearish here, we're likely going to see lower price action, and that double top could end up playing out. We are getting kind of a second candle to start our breakdown from it. But if we get any kind of a support anywhere before this 51.3, if I can get the whole sense out, if we get support before this 51.3, that will push us forward, and we could see continued price action up. However, if we break this 51.3, that would be likely where we could see lower price action down. Over for algo, we are doing the meme coins today. It is Wednesday, so we are pushing to the top of our pattern. We do want to push. We want to make a kind of push away, kind of like everything else. Stochastic wants to run up. RSI wants to come up. Our money flow is pushing pretty decent. Our VWAP's pretty flat though, so that is worrisome, as that could end up bringing us down. The momentum wants to push forward, but is in jeopardy of rolling away because that VWAP looks a little iffy. We do still have this reversal arrow, so I would be a little weary of this pump. This could just be another touch to the top to give us our third actual touch since we stopped short here, and then we could see an actual rejection. But if we manage to hold above this zone, then we are going to see continued price action up, and we could get a pretty decent move to about 1036. If we broke that zone, our next zone would be this 1080, and then from there, our next zone would be 1123. So if you're looking for the bullish zones, those are them. Our RSI wants to push up, but it's starting to curl away. Our stochastic's overall making divergence, so watch out for that. Our momentum's doing the same. Our money flow is pushing pretty decent. This is on the 4 hour. So we do have a bullish trend going. Our VWAP is pushing pretty strong, but we are in jeopardy of seeing these roll away if the lower time frames start to weaken. Over on the 2 hour, our money flow is overall inching out. Our VWAP is starting to come down. The stochastic wants to curl, and the RSI is about to give up some strength here, so we are in jeopardy of seeing a snap down from here. Our momentum is in jeopardy of pushing lower as well, with that VWAP pushing down. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is overall making divergences, even though we tried to push up and get rid of them. Our RSI is starting to weaken, momentum starting to roll away, and our VWAP's getting close to neutral, so if we get some red candles in the next candle or two, then we're likely going to break to the bearish side and see lower price action. Our money flow is maintaining bullish strength though, and doesn't show signs of weakening, so if it manages to maintain above this 12.6 zone, we could see continued price action up. However, if the VWAP falls bearish and the money flow breaks the zone, we could see lower price action. Over on Doge for the daily, we do have a bit of an ascending triangle that could end up pushing us away from this pattern, and it could invalidate our breakdown. So that is a little hopium. Stochastic wants to push up. RSI is kind of starting to push away, so watch out for that. That RSI could start to roll away here if the stochastic doesn't maintain strength. Our VWAP is starting to inch away, so it is in jeopardy of weakening this momentum. If that does happen, then we could just spill over, and this could be where we retest and break down. Our money flow is trying to break bullish, so if we can get a strong green candle tomorrow and the money flow cross, that could be indicative of us pushing forward. Over on the 4 hour, we had that manipulation X right here. It didn't really do too much to us. We did take a decent dive, but we managed to sustain. Over on the momentum, we are trying to get a little bit of a curl with a green dot as our VWAP's trying to push bullish. So if our VWAP can get some strength here, that would be positive for us, and we could see sustained price action up. However, we are in a bit of an up channel, and up channels do tend to break down. Stochastic wants to make a bullish cross, and the RSI wants to push forward, but I would be weary. Our money flow is in the bullish territory. but it's kind of meeting resistance at the 6 zone, so if it can't manage to break through here, we could reject away and break to the bearish side. Over on the 2 hour, we have a reversal arrow here that wants to break us down. Our RSI is starting to head down, our stochastic starting to roll away, our money flow overall is starting to weaken, and our VWAP is starting to round off after making a new high. So I would pay close attention here. If our VWAP breaks to the bearish side with our money flow, we're likely going to get another leg down. Over on the stochastic for the 1 hour, we're making bearish divergence here, so that could push us lower. Momentum starting to round out as our VWAP and money flow are falling. The RSI could start to point down, so overall we do have more bearish pressure here. And last but not least, for SHIB, we could have a goofy double bottom forming here that could try to push us up toward this like 7669. I'm not going to count all those zeros. Our stochastic wants to head forward. Our RSI wants to push up. Our VWAP is trying to push forward, but it's kind of struggling. If the VWAP can't break through this like 8 zone, then we could get some pullback and break to the bearish side. The money flow is also going to need to break through this neutral with that VWAP pushing forward if we're going to get continued price action up. The momentum wants to come up and push us forward, so that is good for us, but that's dependent on the VWAP. Over on the 4 hour, we are kind of zigzagging around, making an ascending triangle, so that could push us forward. Stochastic wants to run up. Our RSI is starting to kind of taper off though, so I would keep an eye on it as our stochastic's making bearish divergence. Our momentum's making bearish divergence as well and is in jeopardy of rolling away, and our VWAP is getting lower highs, so if it pushes away from here, we could break down and start a bearish trend. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic starting to arch away with the RSI, so those could start to break us down. Our money flow and VWAP are starting to head down as well, so those are in jeopardy of falling to the bearish side. The money flow is very close to the neutral and the VWAP is coming down sharply. That could weaken our momentum and push us for another leg to the downside. Over on the 1 hour, we have a reversal arrow that brought us up, but we're not going too far from here and we're meeting some resistance. Our stochastic is starting to push away. RSI wants to head up. Our momentum is starting to arch out as our VWAP is getting close to the neutral. Our money flow is getting close to the neutral as well. So if the VWAP and money flow break to the bearish side and the stochastic continues down, we could see some pretty volatile moves to the downside. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.